I'm not a relative of Mrs. Haines, but I had her in school, and I know there were 2 or 3 other people here that had her too. James Thomas Haines was born on May 5th, 1905 in Adams County, Ohio, the son of Oscar D. and Pearlie Johnson Haines. Louise Burris Haines was born on Burristown Road, Sabina, Ohio on April 26, 1906. She was one of 5 children born to Bert and Rose Ellis Burris. Her siblings were Edith Burris Thorpe, Hazel Burris Stingley, Delbert Burris, and Dorothy Burris Julian. James Haines and Louise Burris were married on June 1st, 1935. Louise taught 4th through 6th grade at the Reeseville School. She retired after 36 years. She is remembered as a disciplinarian, but a sweet, kind one. Bonnie Starcher had her in the 5th and 6th grade, and the 5th graders were on one side of the room and the 6th on the other side. One grade would do their work as she moved to the other side to teach them their lesson. Bonnie said Mrs. Haines and her class worked very hard to earn money for a class trip to Washington, D.C. They went on the train and spent one day sightseeing. Randy Dixon was also a student of Mrs. Haines, and I think Randy's wife and daughter are here. Randy Dixon was also a student of Mrs. Haines' 6th grade, and he remembers on the first day of school in 1964, his desk was in the front row right near her desk. At the first recess of the day, around 9 a.m., she let everyone go outside, but she kept Randy back. Mrs. Haines picked up her ruler and proceeded to tell him, "Mr. Dixon, I am your school teacher and you are my students. You are going to learn. Most of all, you are going to behave yourself." Between each sentence, she would tap the ruler on her desk. When she got to the behave yourself part, she slapped the desk with that ruler and scared Randy to death. I later found out that my 1st grade teacher, Mrs. Brown, had told Mrs. Haines that I would be a problem. You can vouch for that, can't you? From that day on, all Mrs. Haines had to do was look down her nose at me and I would heel. Looking back, she was one of my best teachers. After the death of his wife, and this is an error, so you might want to change your script, it says Donald Stewart, but it was John Stewart, my father. After my mother passed away, he would take several widows as a group and take them out to eat. And so one day he called Louise and he said, "Would you like to go out to dinner?" And she said, "I sure would. Who is this?" So that was Louise. James retired from Clinton Asphalt Paving Company as a heavy equipment operator. He worked with Ray Dixon, Randy's dad. Randy would go to work with his dad, and at the shop, Randy would watch Jim work on their heavy equipment. Randy was young and amazed at how he could fix big equipment with such small tools, which he carried in a burlap feed sack and not a toolbox. Jim and Ray Dixon went deer hunting in southern Ohio one year for a week. Jim had killed an 8-point buck. As a young boy, Randy was fascinated with those big antlers. 2 days later, after the processing, Jim brought the antlers to Randy as a gift. I cut a board, went to Darrell Hunter's to get a name plaque with Jim's name, the county where he had killed the deer, and the year. I mounted the antlers and put on the plaque. I gave it to Jim, and I remember he hung it over the fireplace. A month after Jim passed away, Mrs. Haines called me to her home in Reeseville and said she had something for me. Jim left me his .308 hunting rifle, the gun he used to kill that deer. Both Jim and Louise taught me the lesson of being a giver in life. Roger Littleton remembers him as always wearing his Clinton Asphalt khaki uniform, even after retiring, with his CAT, as in Caterpillar equipment, key ring on his belt loop. Jim was a 25-year member of the Sabina Masonic Lodge. Louise was a member of the Sabina Eastern Star and the Reeseville Methodist Church. Jim Haines died on February 29, 1979, and Louise died on December 25, 1990. Charlie, I know you had her as a teacher, and who else? Katie Smith, who did? Yeah. You had her too? Yeah. She was strict, but you learned under her, I think so. Does anybody else have any?
I would just say that Mrs. Haines was like a second mother. She kept us in check. There was no question about her being in charge, and personally, I got A's under Mrs. Haines because I was afraid to do anything different.
That's true.
But I found out as soon as I got away from her that, hey, there was a mischievous kid in there.
Well, I can vouch for that, Charlotte. I rode the school bus.
You just keep those stories to yourself.
I go back here. That was a 1959 and 60 flag.
Yeah,
That's the one that you put on there, isn't it, Nancy, or somebody?
I had those, and my dad had written on the back. I had her for 2 years, fifth grade and sixth grade. And because our class was so big, they had 2 classes that they had stick. And so, anyway, on this one, I was in this class, and my dad had written all our names on the back. He reversed it, and then in the sixth grade, he didn't do that. So, I was like, I don't know why, but anyway, I had given that to Connie Sears, and I think Connie Sears might have gotten that, or given it to the...
She gave it to Mike White and put it on Facebook.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Mike took, no, he took the picture for me.
Okay.
I had him at the last reading or whatever.
I got this off of Facebook.
One story I remember about Mrs. Haines was, it was always Mrs. Haines, it was never Louise. But she had a white streak, like a skunk. And I remember her telling that she had scarlet fever when she was a child, her and her family, her siblings, and she lost all her hair except for that hair right there, and that's the reason why it was white. So, she told us that one day, class or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, it was Mrs. Haines, it wasn't Louise afterwards, it was always Mrs. Haines.
Yes. Yeah. She meant respect and you gave it.
Oh, you gave it to her, yeah.